Bai Lu's surprise appearance left Zeng Shunxi speechless. Here's what really happened. It was supposed to be a regular music festival, loud, dazzling, unforgettable in the usual way. But as the show neared its end, something shifted. The crowd began to chant, restless, sensing something. And then, a figure appeared under the main spotlight.
A familiar silhouette.
The crowd gasped, phones lifted, hearts raced.
It was Bai Lu.
Her entrance was quiet yet thunderous. The light seemed to bend toward her, and for one fleeting moment, even the music held its breath. Across the stage, Zeng Shunxi stood motionless. The cameras zoomed in just in time to capture the look in his eyes, disbelief, awe, and something deeply human. Within seconds, social media erupted. "Is that really Bai Lu?" One fan posted on Weibo. Another wrote, "She came for him, I know it." That's how the night of noise became the night of silence, and silence became the roar that took over the entire internet. For years, fans have whispered about Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi, their chemistry, their rumored bond, their uncanny emotional synchronicity. When they shared the screen years ago, they weren't just co-stars, they were sparks in human form. Every glance, every breath between them carried tension, subtle yet unmistakable. But when filming ended, so did their public appearances.
No interviews together.
No events. No words.
Just Silence. The kind of silence that screams Ludatan any denial.
And then came this night, where that silence shattered in one single step across the stage. When Bai Lu walked toward Zeng Shunxi, it wasn't scripted. There was no teleprompter, no pre-announced duet. Yet, somehow, their movements synchronized naturally, as if the universe itself had been waiting for them to align again.
The lights dimmed.
The background screen dissolved into a swirl of stars. And then it happened, they sang together. Their voices, one soft and airy, the other deep and steady, intertwined like two souls meeting mid-air. Every note carried history, every lyric a memory revived. Fans in the front row burst into tears. Some clasped hands, others recorded while sobbing, whispering, "This can't be just a performance." That's when everyone realized, they weren't just watching a concert. They were watching two people write closure, or perhaps, a new beginning. The camera zoomed in close enough to capture Zeng Shunxi's expression, that mix of nostalgia, warmth, and disbelief. He wasn't acting. You could see it in the way his jaw tightened, his lips curved ever so slightly, the tremor in his voice. Bai Lu, meanwhile, smiled that rare smile, the kind that doesn't perform, the kind that forgives. And in that gaze, something unspeakable passed between them. No words. No gestures. Just a mutual recognition that the years apart hadn't erased whatever existed before. The crowd didn't need confirmation. They felt it. Hours later, when everyone thought the storm had passed, a short backstage clip leaked online. It showed Bai Lu leaving quietly through the corridor, surrounded by staff. Suddenly, Zeng Shunxi appeared behind her, calling out softly. She turned. He reached out, not dramatically, not for the cameras, just a gentle hold of her hand. The video had no background music, no dialogue. But that silence spoke louder than any script ever could. Fans analyzed every frame, his hand placement, her reaction, the glance they shared before walking off screen. Weibo exploded. Hashtags like Bai Lu Zeng Shunxi reunion, and the eyes that never lied shot to the top of the trending list overnight. In less than 3 hours, millions had seen it. The emotional shockwave was unstoppable. The next morning, Bai Lu broke her silence with a simple post.
Old friend, long time no see.
No emojis. No hashtags. Just those 7 words and a dimly lit photo of the stage from behind. A few hours later, Zeng Shunxi reposted her message. No caption, only a crescent moon emoji.
The internet lost control.
Fans deciphered, debated, dissected every detail. Was it coincidence? Code? Closure? Whatever it was poetry. Quiet, cryptic, and devastatingly intimate. Online communities didn't just react, they erupted. For the Lucy CP fandom, this wasn't gossip, it was vindication. Years of waiting, defending, and believing suddenly felt justified. Fan pages compiled timelines, video edits, lyrical analyses. People cried over reaction videos. Some said, "They're fate, not fiction." Others wrote, "That's not acting, that's memory." The fandom's emotional journey became its own kind of art, first nostalgia, then collective euphoria, finally transformation. They didn't just watch their idols, they lived through them. That's the power of parasocial connection, an invisible thread tying millions to two hearts that might never fully meet. Experts in fan culture later described the event as emotional transfer. The phenomenon where fans project their own longing, heartbreak, and hope onto celebrities who mirror those feelings on stage. Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi unknowingly became conduits for that collective energy. Their every movement, a smile, a pause, a turned glance, carried meaning far beyond themselves. It wasn't just a performance anymore. It was therapy, memory, redemption. In that moment, fans weren't outsiders. They were participants in an emotional ecosystem, healing through what they witnessed.
Behint ze Flashlights and ze Rohr, ließ Aquita trut.
Celebrities like Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi constantly balance two selves, the public persona built for admiration, and the private soul craving authenticity. That night, for the first time in years, both worlds collided. The boundaries dissolved, and what we saw wasn't Bai Lu the actress, or Zeng Shunxi the star. We saw two people remembering what it feels like to simply be human. The stage was their confessional booth, the crowd their silent priesthood. And whether it was romance or reunion, nobody left untouched. The reason this story became a global phenomenon wasn't because of fame, it was because of truth. In an age of filters and media control, authenticity feels like rebellion. Bai Lu's unscripted smile, Zeng Shunxi's trembling eyes, they reminded everyone that sincerity still exists behind the glitter. Journalists, bloggers, and entertainment critics all agreed, this was more than a comeback, it was a cultural heartbeat. Some called it China's most poetic reunion. Others called it, the night love looked real again. Whatever the label, the sentiment was universal. Something raw and genuine had slipped through the cracks of celebrity polish. The melody they sang that night has since become a modern legend. Its lyrics about remembering and not forgetting now carry a deeper echo, not just about lovers, but about time itself. When two artists channel years of unspoken history into music, it transcends entertainment. It becomes catharsis, for them, and for the millions watching. Every stream, every replay, every fan edit becomes a ritual of remembrance. The song isn't just sung anymore, it's felt. Weeks after the event, both stars avoided interviews. Neither confirmed nor denied anything.
And my betats wat keeps the fire burning. The mystery.
Because unanswered questions have more power than revelations. Will they meet again?
Will te Eva collaborate ensemble?
Or was this one magical night the universe's way of saying, this is enough?
Warteverse trut, the public can't look away.
Because deep down, we all crave that one story, the one that feels too cinematic to be real, and too real to be fiction. Months may pass, trends may fade, but this reunion will linger. Not as gossip, but as a modern myth, a reminder that beneath the fame, stars are still people, capable of genuine surprise, emotion, and connection. Bai Lu's quiet strength and Zeng Shunxi's emotional transparency offered a mirror for everyone watching. No matter how much we pretend, some connections never die, they just wait for the right stage to return. This story also exposes the emotional cost of being adored. For stars like Bai Lu and Zeng Shunxi, every glance becomes a headline, every silence becomes speculation. Yet somehow, amidst the chaos, they found a way to reclaim their narrative, not through press conferences, but through art. They didn't tell their story, they showed it, and that's why it resonated. It's a rare reminder that the entertainment world, despite its polish, is built on raw emotion.